it's time for TikTok on the Keep Optimizing podcast. Listen to start your journey of discovery with the TikTok platform.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this Marketing Focus podcast. If you're not familiar with our format, well, each month we focus on a different marketing method: email, SEO, TikTok, and each week I interview a different marketing method expert to explore their latest advice on making it work for you. This month is all about TikTok. Yes, I think it's time for us to go deep into the newest of social media platforms, the one that's been changing how we consume content and which has Meta's knickers in a twist. Why now? Well, I think marketing on TikTok has reached a level of maturity that means it's worth you considering it for your business. By maturity, I mean there are tried and tested strategies that are working for brands right now, and that the ecosystem to help you deploy those strategies exists too. Essentially, whilst it's still new and exciting, there is a roadmap for getting stuck in. Warning time. For many of you, TikTok is quite possibly still going to be a bright, shiny object. So my aim this month is not to convince you all to try it. It's rather to give you the insight you need to decide if it's for you this year, if it's for you next year or not. And if it is for you, to give you a way to get to a point of success faster, because we've given you the insight you need to save you having to learn it the hard way. So we're giving you the fast track to getting going, basically. We are starting in this episode by getting into what is this whole creator phenomenon? What are creators? How are brands working with creators? We're getting into the detail for you. Now, do make sure you listen right to the end of the episode, because at the end of the interview, my guests will be sharing their quick-fire insider tips to help you maximize the performance of TikTok in its whole, and then I'll be sharing my take on it all, plus outlining some more free ways we can help you improve your TikTok or get to understand TikTok even more. So stay tuned to the end. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's KLAVIYO.com/masterplan. Today I'm chatting with TikTok expert Danny Desatnik. Danny is the Creator Initiatives Manager at #Paid and host of the Creator Culture podcast. Hello, Danny.
How are you? Thank you for having me on.
I'm good. Great to be chatting with you. How did you end up in the world of TikTok?
I think that's a question that probably a lot of parents are asking their kids these days as well. It goes back, I'd say 2.5 years before I started working at #Paid. I was in the music industry, and an artist that I was working with was really into the idea of what TikTok is, what TikTok could be. I had the classic idea of, oh, well, TikTok's just for teens and dances and weird like music videos. He dispelled that fact to say, no, well, that's what the media is picking up because that's what's making the most noise right now. But if you actually take a look at the value of TikTok, i.e. being able to remix a sound, a challenge, a movement, an idea, a trend with any single category, you can have a really powerful platform. And that's how he was thinking about it. He actually started to consult for other artists and their management companies in the space too, of how to build a presence, how to think about it as an artist. And so that just made me think, all right, cool. There's obviously something bigger here, because he spent a lot of time. And then I started to spend too much time, as I continue to spend too much time. And it has been unbelievable to see the different branches of how people approach TikTok. There's very high produced quality content. There's quick, pull your camera out, talk to the camera. There's education, there's propaganda. It spans the spectrum. There's a ton of good, there's a ton of bad, but it is a fascinating topic, and that's how I got into it, and that's why I think I'm going to continue to stay in it.
And as I said in the intro, you are the host of the Creator Culture podcast, which is kind of what you're here to talk to us about today, because it's understanding a brand's play on TikTok. It's essential to understand the creator, what the creator is, how creators function, and the creator ecosystem. So could you give us a basic explanation, if that's possible, of what we mean when we talk about creators in regards to TikTok?
Yeah. The big question always is, what is a creator? And I will preface this by saying that I think many different people have different answers around what a creator means dependent on their environment. I think at its basic form, a creator is someone that builds an audience online through putting out content. That could be photos, videos, audios, or written pieces. And then it all depends, again, on what environment are you playing in to then define what is that creator. You'll also get what's the difference between a creator and an influencer. Truthfully, they are the same at heart. It is semantics. It's just at the end of the day, I think creator comes with more of a positive connotation than influencer. But at the end of the day, working with the same people. And so as long as you are finding what is the objective that you're looking to solve for or work out, and then you figure out who are the right people for it, you'll be good to go. But as it relates to TikTok, it's people that create videos online to build an audience on the platform, which is TikTok. And they usually have a presence across other platforms as well.
Liking that explanation. That makes me and you creators in the podcasting arena.
That is true.
But guys, don't go to me to get your TikTok content created. Let's just say that. So on TikTok, I think creators is a such better phrase, especially on TikTok, than influencers, because it is a platform where the creative, your video, the audio that goes with it, the message you're putting across is just so much more important than it is on any channel, even Instagram, I think. So I think creators is just such a brilliant term for it. How are you seeing brands using TikTok creators?
In various different ways, truly. I think when you hear the fact of, brands are working with creators on TikTok, that's usually where the sentence ends. And then it's up to your imagination and what news outlets.
It's where the questions start, isn't it? It's like, well, how? What are they doing? What are the creators doing? What are the brands doing? Who's getting what back? Who's paying what? Are these long-term relationships, short-term relationships? It's like, because the mainstream media just go, brands are working with creators. And you're like, yeah, but I need to know more. So I'm guessing there's multiple strategies going on that people are testing and trying out. So what are some of the ones you're seeing that are successful for everybody?
Definitely. Again, when it comes down to the word successful, that's so individualized, or it is based on the individual. It's probably a better way to say it. But for a couple of things that I'm looking at, one, it's to build a presence purely on TikTok, an organic presence. At the end of the day, what wins on TikTok, or really what wins on any platform in which creative is involved, is storytelling. So if you are an e-commerce brand and maybe you don't have as much firepower or resources right now to be able to observe TikTok, understand it, come up with creative concepts, etc., there's a person that understands the platform, that is a great storyteller. Well, maybe you work with them as step one to start building enough content on your brand page on TikTok to give you the best chance to win in terms of awareness, because TikTok's algorithm does wonderful things for many different people, as long as, again, the story is there, or as long as there's something there that's shareable.
So just to dive straight into that, this isn't paying them to put out content on their own channel. or profile. This is getting creators to create the content that goes out via your brand channels. It's kind of like an alternative to a social media agency, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. Right. At the end of the day, I think there is a ton of value, regardless of what platform we're talking about. I know we're talking TikTok, but there's a ton of value in catalog because as humans, I believe we're all curious. And so when you see a video, whether it's a sound or a logo or an idea or whatever it may be, I believe there's always the interest of, well, if it captures your interest, you want to see more, you want to learn more. And if you as a brand can build a catalog of content that you keep putting out on your own channel, as you were saying, on your brand channel, well, if then when you're working with creators to spread the message, to find new customers, to build that awareness, there's a place for that person who stumbles upon your brand to come back to the page and actually explore their curiosity and hit that, if we're talking marketing terms, that consideration phase of, oh, really, who are you? Oh, I can go down a rabbit hole. There's so much content that I can consume. I can satiate, or they can be satiated in terms of their curiosity once that's available. So that's why I think I led with, oh, well, a lot of brands are starting to work with creators just to start populating their own pages and essentially be the voice and the face for their own accounts.
So we definitely don't want to start playing on TikTok with nothing on our own profile. Step one, build our profile, and we can use the creators to do that. So it's not we run an influencer campaign with creators versus creating our own content. We need our own content too, even if we're getting the creators to create it for us. If anyone followed that, congratulations.
No, for sure. Well, and it works on the idea of compounding. Because if you have your own content coming out and that's reaching a certain audience, sharing a certain message, building a certain emotion, and you have creators working on their own channel, using creators as an additional distribution channel within TikTok to reach their audience, to reach new audiences, and especially on TikTok, everything is new audience, everything is discovery based, because I think the stat is like 80% of the For You page are videos from people you don't follow. So working with that creator can, again, reach completely new audiences and they have a unique storytelling ability. But I think working with both in tandem is where the magic really happens, because you're always looking to fill top of funnel as any brand, especially an e-commerce brand. But if you have the people that are already your fans, already your audience, and they want to see more and they're engaging with the content that you're putting out, that just builds the emotional connection from the jump. So I think the two in tandem work really well to create a very powerful channel of itself, specifically TikTok.
Cool. So I distracted you there, but that first strategy you're seeing brands do well with creators is to get the creators to build the brand's profile and the brand's presence.
Yeah.
What's your number two?
Number two is what I guess we spoke about as it could be seen as a step two. Again, you're looking to reach a new audience, or you're trying to tell your story in a unique way, i.e. you're going to work with that storyteller, who are also called creators, to get that message out in a very unique way. And so that is the traditional mode of influencer marketing. I'm going to find someone that I feel fits my values, that fits who I'm looking for in terms of aesthetic, their communication, who's their audience. And I'm going to pay them as essentially the bridge to the audience that I'm trying to reach, because they've already built trust. They're already familiar with that person. So that person is essentially just going to be the conduit. It's going to be the vehicle to get my message out. So that is the most common. But I would say in this case, this is the second way that brands are working with creators.
And is there a third?
Is there a third? I think there's always really unique ways that brands are working with creators, but for the purposes of this podcast and not to get all idealistic and just throw out some crazy ideas, I would say truly those are the two ways, is working with creators to fill branded content needs of a brand's TikTok page, and then working with creators to fill the needs of reaching new audiences, telling your brand story in a different way, and potentially converting, again, based off of whatever your objectives and your goals are.
Got you. And I've heard people talk about buying creative from TikTok creators and then using it on other platforms. You know, you get your TikTok people to create your Facebook ads and such things. Is that a valid strategy currently? Do you see many? Is it a popular strategy, or should we stick to the right platform for the right things?
I think that's a great approach. Again, just depends on the platform. So if you look at Instagram, Instagram's pushing Reels right now. Reels, in a sense, has a very similar feel to what TikTok is. The same functionality is there. The same aspect ratio is there. The same idea of discovery is there. And so getting creators, again, to create content for you that you can then use in your paid ads across different platforms. If that content reflects the behavior and reflects the content that user is going to be seeing. So if you're using a TikTok video as an ad on Twitter, would it work? I don't know. It's not really conducive to Twitter, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe it grabs your attention because you don't see it often. But quite often, yeah, to your point, creators are then being used to create content. And so that content can live on the brand's account. That content can then be repurposed in ads. And those ads, ideally, final thing I'll say on this is that's where TikTok always talks about create TikToks, don't create ads, because people are on the platform for entertainment. And it's super easy to swipe through. And so if you glimpse at a video that, oh, this is definitely an ad, or this hits certain mental structures that, oh, it's a highly produced ad, we're swiping. But if it seems like it's another creator just doing their thing, but the message is intertwined, it tells the story, whatever it may be, but really that's just you pushing it with paid media or amplifying it, best way to go about it.
Got you. And I'm going to take a rough assumption that we need to see our relationship with creators as something of a partnership, not of a, paid 10 creators $10 each to create a video. This is more of a find the right people and work with them to create content for all our strategic needs. Is it a partnership piece, a long-term relationships where the success is?
So I would say in large part, yes. But again, it does come back to needs. Like if you find a creator, and I might get slapped on the hand for saying this, but because everything, it's like long-term relationships 100%, and I'm for that every single day of the week. But if you're just looking for content for your branded account or paid ads, that's the objective, is you just need the content. So you're going to find someone that you feel can capture that message, that visual in the way that you want it to be represented in that paid ad. You find the right person, just like an agency or a production house, you're going to work with them. They're going to create that content. You're going to use it. Great. I think where it becomes really powerful when you take a look at working with creators is the stuff that you can't predict. The stuff where, you're working with the creator over time. There's mutual respect between both you and the creator. Creators now thinking, hey, maybe I want to build a course. Oh, maybe I want to actually create a higher quality video. You know what? I have an idea, brand, of how you can be a part of this. And brand's like, whoa, we've never thought of a concept like that. We would have had to pay $100,000, $1 million to an agency to try come up with that creative concept. That surprise and delight, just like being a friend with someone, it's where I feel value's unlocked. Can you scale that? That's tough because it's a human and it's hard to scale a human. But you think about it like a friend. I come to you, I say, hey, you're selling ice cream. I'm going to pay you money. You're going to give me your ice cream that I've heard is amazing. Great. But if I want to become friends with you, maybe I want to get into business with you, over time, like I'm just building that relationship to maybe one day you say, you know what, there's this new venture idea that I had. I think you'd be right for it. You want to talk about it? And you're like, wow, I would have never had this opportunity if I didn't build a trusted relationship. So it all comes back to what is the objective? But at the end of the day, yeah, there is lots of value to be unlocked as you continue building, again, a human-to-human relationship, because that truly is what it is. Find the objective and figure out the relationship as the second play.
Cool. And as I think we've mentioned a couple of times, we certainly alluded to, you do have to find the right creators. So how does that start? Should we be scrolling endlessly on TikTok? Do we tell the intern to spend the afternoon on TikTok and come back with some ideas? How do we go about finding the right creators to work with?
Yeah. So again, depends on budget, depends on how much time you have, and it depends on needs. What I'll say is there is merit in throwing yourself into TikTok for an hour and just roaming around and watching videos on your For You page and seeing creators that you like and checking who they follow and then going to see their videos and their following and hashtags. And people can find, at the end of the day, if you can spend that time, maybe you can come across a creator that you really like, and it's easy for you to find their email or their DM on Instagram, send a message, and maybe you're starting a partnership that didn't cost you anything other than your time. The thing is, there's no one tried and true method to find the right people. And so the way we think about it is, #paid spent years trying to understand our creator community, which right now is at 65, 75,000 creators that continues to grow. And we're looking through it every day and we're interacting with them every day. And we have technology to be able to filter the right creator at a start based off of like initial indicators in terms of geography and past campaigns, etc. And so what you're paying for is essentially all the work that we've done over the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years to understand the community, to find the right creators, if you're going to work with a platform like a #paid. But on the other side, there's platforms where they allow you to search freely yourself. And so again, maybe the value there is there's more search parameters that you can use to figure out or to shortlist the creators that you're then manually going to look through and watch their content for. There's value there too. So as annoying as of an answer as this is, it depends on how much time you have, and it depends on how quickly you want that output. If you want it now, we're an amazing solution because of all the work that we put in and how much we know our audience as #paid. But there's power in finding it yourself and being your own champion as well. And so it just depends on the time you have and what time to value you're looking for.
But I think it's important we let people know there are tools out there to make this easier for you if you find, TikTok a difficult place to navigate or you don't have that time element. And I guess the other important thing when it comes to working with anyone, freelancer, creator, agency, employee, is you get the right paperwork in place, as dull as that sounds, to make sure everyone's clear, first off, on what happens when, who's getting rewarded what for what, and to make sure, the legal side of things is covered as well. Any advice around that slightly less exciting area of the project, Danny?
Well, it's funny how the things that are the most, let's say, lackluster, or the things that aren't as sexy, are usually the things that are worth the most in any element of life. And so when hearing the question right now, to me, what I'm going to say is everything starts with this creative brief, right? Everything in the world of creatives, and when you're trying to create creative-based or just any assets, it's always starting with what is the vision and what are the needs? Because there are millions of creators in this world, or creatives, should I say, in this world. And how do you choose who to work with? Well, at the end of the day, you have an idea of what you want to get out, and they are going to help transform that thought or transform that message into a video, a photo, out of home placement, whatever it may be. So the idea of a brief is super, super important, making sure that, again, you tell the creator what is it that you are looking for. 2, how are they getting paid? Because at the end of the day, the creator needs to feel valued. If you're saying to them, hey, you know what, you might get paid if this performs, probably their rebuttal is going to be, that's not what we're here for. Like, we are the creator who's going to create that piece of content and we're putting it out. It's not up to us how well it does. Like, we're taking your vision and we're trying to augment that vision. So having a direction in place, agreeing on that direction, agreeing on the deliverables so that there's no surprises. And I would say, just like what a legal agreement is for, it's for when things go wrong or for when things potentially happen, like conditional unlocks. So if you were to say, hey, you know what, if we like your stuff and we feel it performs well, can we pay you to get the license to get that content and put it on our paid ads? Great, this is what we pay you. This is our agreed upon rate for the creator licensing of that asset. Having that all up front, so everyone's agreed every step of the way, just makes it so easy. So things happen, boom, we look at the agreement, which has been agreed upon, both parties feel valued, go ahead. So yeah, that creative brief, as much as I rambled, that creative brief is super, super important.
Excellent. Thank you, Danny. We are loving all the advice you are giving us on creators and how we work with them, the different strategies we can use. Listeners, remember to stay tuned right to the end so you don't miss out on Danny's insider tips on TikTok and my suggestions for more free resources to help you improve things even further in your business. This podcast is brought to you by Klaviyo, the email and SMS platform built just for e-commerce brands. If you're marketing an e-commerce brand, you already know that data changes everything. More data means more power. And if your email or SMS tools can't handle all that data, they're probably holding you back. That's where Klaviyo comes in. Its top-notch personalization and segmentation help you send the right message at the right time, guided by unlimited real-time data from your online store and tech stack. Request a demo at klaviyo.com/masterplan. That's KLAVIYO.com/masterplan. Okay, Danny, so far we've gone deep into creators. Now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about the whole of TikTok. So for the following questions, your answers can be anything to do with TikTok, which of course even includes everything we've already been talking about. So Danny, you ready for these?
If I'm not ready, I guess I don't even have a choice. So let's go.
Yeah, we're doing it anyway. Let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
Knowing too much or trying to know too much, I think, is actually a downfall. I think ignorance is bliss in this case, and I would say just start. And the reason I'd say just start, I think you're going to hear that from so many people, and maybe it's not the thing you really want to hear. But the greatest thing about TikTok is that you are getting signal right away. TikTok, at its core, is trying to find the best videos possible and serve those videos to the people that might have those similar interests, because they want to keep people on platform for as long as possible. So you're going to know in the first hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, if something hit. If it hit, cool, you can start thinking about, oh, maybe it was the storytelling. Oh, maybe it was this unique twist I took. If it didn't hit, no problem at all. You have another chance the next time you put out a video. And so I think that's the best way to think about it, is it's at-bat based. Take as many at-bats as you need to feel comfortable. Take as many at-bats as you need to feel like you get to analyze maybe which videos do better than the other. And by just starting, I think that's going to break down the barrier of, oh my God, there's brands that have 1 million followers. How did they get there? They had to start. So just start. As annoying as that answer is, TikTok's going to give you the signals.
Excellent. Okay, just start, everybody. Now, once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
Okay, so this actually comes from a creator I spoke with last week. And it's a super interesting way, and I think a super powerful way to, if we're going on the scent or the phrase of optimizing performance. A lot of the time, as a creative or as a marketer or someone owning a business trying to get onto TikTok, we're trying to figure out, what does the audience want? We know who the audience kind of is, and we're trying to figure out what they want, and that's going to inform the type of content we're putting out. So what a bunch of creators do is they create a dummy account, and on that dummy account, they start searching for different videos or different hashtags or different ideas or concepts that they feel the audience that they're trying to go after would like or would be watching. That then just becomes their research and development lab, because you start to see, oh, well, what videos is TikTok showing me? What videos are doing best? What ideas can I take? How can I, again, steal like an artist, where you find that concept and be like, oh, cool, how do I rework that for my video? I've seen it work really well because that's what TikTok's pushing to the idea based off of my searches and based off of my activity. And I think that's a really cheap, but also a very powerful way to figure out what content is doing well. It allows you to analyze why it's doing well. And you can just take all those learnings, like Austin Kleon says in Steal Like an Artist, is you just take all those learnings and you apply it to your own.
I like that. Have a nice dummy research account.
Yeah.
Super simple, but so clever. If someone listening wants to learn even more about TikTok, is there one cheap or free resource you'd recommend?
So I will plug something that I run, and this truly has nothing to do with hashtag paid. So please don't believe that I am trying to sell you on something. Around 6 months ago, I got in contact with a creator who's on TikTok and helps brands build on TikTok, by the name of JT Barnett. And what we started to do is run something called Branding Bootcamp. Branding Bootcamp is an hour-long session once a month. It's free for anyone can sign up and join, where JT will take 3 brands that have signed up for this session, and we'll bring them up on stage for 15 minutes at a time and run them through how he would think about building a strategy for them and answer their questions. And then we take those learnings away and we'll be able to apply it to the rest of the audience. We've done that for 4 times in 2-ish weeks is our next one, but they keep happening every month. And we're actually getting the social media manager of John Bejuice and Auntie Anne's, Barry Rosenstein, to come up as well. And so this is a great way to just get exposure to how these true experts and practitioners think about it. People in the chat are loving it. They like to connect with each other, sharing ideas. And so again, free resource. You can rewatch the replay. You can gain some insights and get exposure for $0. And outside of that, what I'll say is you can follow some great creators. JT Barnett's a great creator to follow that talks about this. A guy named Mike Rama is another great creator. There's a creator in Toronto named Bailey. I think she goes by Bailey Rose _King. These are creators that are helping brands build on TikTok. And so their content is focused on putting you in that mindset, helping you to better storytell. So also free resources that can really benefit you.
Excellent. And the Branding Bootcamp, where do we find that?
If you go to our website, which is #paid.com, all spelled out, there is an element there is a section called Banknotes, which is #paid's media arm. And within Banknotes, there's an event section, and it should be right under the event section. Or maybe in easier ways, you can go to our LinkedIn, and we will keep promoting all these branding boot camps on our LinkedIn as well.
Okay, excellent. We'll also add a link to the show notes for anyone who wants to get the link and go straight there. Excellent resources. Thank you much, Danny. Finally, it's crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
This might be a little bit of a deep cut, but what I've been seeing work really well on TikTok of late is street interviews. And so what that means is, again, going up to people randomly on the street with a mic and asking questions related to your business or the product that you're selling. Now I'm going to take it a step further. Because this is doing so well and it's performing so well on TikTok, where I think things are going to go is I think TikTok's going to become a hub for, let's call it low quality reality TV. And I think these creators are going to create, and I'm seeing this, they're creating content that's quite episodic in nature. It's easy to keep following. And in that way, you're essentially building your brand into a very small show that could be quite powerful. So again, a very deep cut, I think a very strategic cut, but something that I'm noticing and I think can add a ton of value if you are ready to take the leap or if you kind of think in a similar way.
Oh, I like that. My mind is now racing through kind of 90s and noughties comedy shows that would obviously have started on the TikTok channel if they started today, like The Office, for example.
For sure.
Just in case anyone needs to visualize that idea anymore. That's a great one. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Danny. We're very nearly at the end of the show, so could you please let listeners know where they can find you, #paid, and your podcast, please, sir?
For sure. Let's go in order. You can find me, I'm Danny Desatnik, so on LinkedIn. On all social media platforms, I am DATKEED, Datkid, instead of that kid. It's a very weird way of saying that kid, but it's Datkid. #paid. You can find us across all platforms. We're usually all spelt out because we have a special character, the hashtag before our name, and that's usually not allowed in names. So HASHTAGPAID across all platforms. On LinkedIn, we actually are #paid. And then creator culture, you can find on all streaming platforms, just called Creator Culture. It's got some like 80s funky, multicolored thumbnail vibe to it. And hopefully that gives you enough of an indicator.
Quite reminiscent of Saved by the Bell, I think, your logo, yeah.
I think my graphic designer was definitely watching an episode of Saved by the Bell when she designed it.
Well, look, Danny, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and educating us all about creators on TikTok. It's been excellent chatting with you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much, Chloe.
So a great opener there to our month of TikTok, in-depth TikTok advice. I think, hopefully you now get this whole creator ecosystem thing. Danny, I think, explained it really well. And I think if you're a brand who's going, oh God, I have no idea what we do in a TikTok, you don't need to come up with that. Whether it's for content to put out via your own profile, or whether it's to, do the influencer piece, the creators are there to help you. And for those of you who are time poor and who don't want to do it, there are platforms out there like #paid that make the whole thing a lot more straightforward. So lots of bits in there. We are going to be diving into TikTok in lots of other ways over the coming weeks. But for now, you can get the links to everything we discussed, the full transcript of the episode, important notes and more at keepoptimizing.com. You can also use our direct to episode link. Just put keepopt.com/episode number into that URL bar and you will be redirected straight to the correct episode page. Once you get to the website, make sure you add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of those other things I share to help you improve your business. When you're on the website, you can also sign up to our monthly Q&A webinar, because we will be running one of those this month, and it will be your chance to get your TikTok questions, all of them answered live with our specialists. Thank you so much for tuning in even to this episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed it and want to continue learning about TikTok right now, then scroll back up your feed, because whilst we haven't dedicated a whole month to TikTok before now, last year we did squeeze in a couple of episodes. So number 58 we did with Chris Sugatan and Holly Ray from marketing agency Sugatan. And in episode 79, we got into interactive content and a lot of TikTok too, with Marcus Foley from advertising agency Tommy. And please do tell your fellow marketers about the show, because I want to help them understand TikTok and get to grips with how they might be able to make it work for their business too. You can find all of that and all our TikTok content, in fact, at keepopt.com/TikTok. Have a great week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.